Good morning. So I'm here sitting under the shade of a tree known as Capulin, or Prunus salicifolia is the scientific name. It produces a fruit known as the Capulin cherry that not many people know about, but I had a friend show me here in Costa Rica where I'm at in Guanacaste. Saw a tree growing wild near our property and pulled over, and we ate a couple of the fruit, so now I'm here to tell you a bit more about it. It's a tree that's native to Mexico, and it produces a fruit that is small and round. This fruit is one that stays relatively green as it ripens, but as it becomes very ripe, it gets a bit of a pinkish, reddish color. Here in my hand, I have quite a few that I've just harvested, and you can see the colors kind of vary from green to pink to even a bit more red. So this is some of the ripe fruits, and as you can see, some of them are still totally green. They're quite delicious. I've already eaten a few, but I'll eat a few more on camera and describe the flavor and texture to you guys. Yeah, it's a good one to know about, and I'll show more information about the plant, show the tree up close, and describe how and when it's ready to harvest. Alright, I'm gonna eat this very ripe red one, tell you how it tastes. It's just sweet and something about it that's very delicious. The texture is nice, just like a cherry, no pit, so it just is nice, delicious fruit and skin. The flavor almost reminds me of, like, this is a weird reference, but it almost reminds me if you've ever had a popcorn jelly bean. I don't know the company, but it's a candy I used to have as a kid, and they had a jelly bean that was popcorn flavored, and they made it kind of sweet and buttery and delicious, and this really that's the closest thing I can use to describe this fruit. I'm so glad to know about it and to be able to get to some of them before the birds do. The birds love this tree, so definitely one that I'm considering trying to propagate, get growing, and have a nice little shady tree bearing fruit and bringing birds around. So here next to this larger established capulin, we have another one sprouting out of the ground and already producing some small fruits on it. This is demonstrating the main way that this plant reproduces, which is through its roots. It does have seeds, but they're so small that it's almost impossible for them to reproduce by germinating in the soil. So there you can see the seeds, really teeny tiny seeds that the fruit is just packed with. And the most common way for these plants to reproduce, from what I've heard, is through the roots. So here's another tree that's likely sprouted off of this one's roots, little root sucker trees. And like I showed earlier, here's this small one. So in order to propagate it, it might be smart to find something sprouting up and try to either air layer it or dig it up with most of its root and replant it somewhere. It's a little hard to tell when they ripen, but like I said, once you see any coloration, once they start getting pink at all, that's a good indicator that they're going to be sweet and juicy on the inside. They also feel a little bit softer in your fingers. Before they're ripe, they stay pretty hard, and they're really round, rounder than most of them and bigger than most of the others on the plant. So here's a ripe fruit on the branch, and you can see that it has a slightly more pink reddish color than the unripe one on the right here that's more ovular as well. So all in all, I'm really amazed by the deliciousness of this fruit and astonished that I never heard of it before, having lived at a place where there was a lot of rare fruit trees in the Caribbean, and having been around a lot of rare fruit collectors and people that are really into that world. So this is one that slipped by me until now, and I'm very glad to have discovered it and discovered it growing right nearby our property. Looking forward to eating more of this and also trying to propagate it on our plot.